Israel is making moves to promote the return of Jewish settlements back to the Gaza Strip to pressure Hamas to release the hostages and promote peace and security for the region. The question is, did Hamas spoil their chance to rule successfully in the Gaza Strip? And is bringing back Jewish presence in Gaza the best way to move forward? We're going to talk about all of that on today's show. Also, we have some crazy videos from Israel's north illustrating just how close Israel is to a full-scale war with Hezbollah in Lebanon. I'm Josiah, and this is the Israel Guys. That was a video of a courageous police officer in northern Israel who rescued a man from a car that was about to catch fire. The man was taken to the hospital, and thanks to this hero, was only lightly injured. Good stories coming out of the land of Israel. Welcome to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. And thank you to tuning in today to the Israel Guys, to your direct connection here, coming to you live from the mountains of Israel. With an on-the-ground report of what's happening. First, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 200,000 subscribers. Thanks to all of you guys who have already subscribed. And if you want to help us out, hit the like button and the notification button. It helps the channel grow. We really appreciate that there. Also, if you're interested in receiving free merch package, epic prize giveaway from the Israel Guys, Israel-inspired products. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. We have a free raffle going for the month of June. All you have to do is enter your email address, and we pick a winner to receive $200 worth of Israel products from our online store. So make sure to click the link down in the description to do that. All right, so there's a lot of things happening in Israel. Obviously, Israel's military is still operating down in Gaza and all of different parts of Gaza. The hostage rescue last week's in the middle of Gaza, down in Rafah, down the south of Gaza. And there is a war, a small-scale war going on in northern Israel. Ben talked a lot about that on Friday on the show. So we're going to talk about a lot of that. But first, I wanted to talk about something very fascinating and something that is just coming up this week. Several members of Knesset are lobbying for a Jewish return to Gaza. And we say return to Gaza because there was Jewish presence in Gaza up until 2005, when, in an attempt to make peace with the Palestinians, they gave control of the Palestinians over to the Palestinian Authority, which was then taken over by Hamas and made into a terrorist state. That has been bothering Israel ever since Hamas took over. I think it was about a year and a half, 2 years after the expulsion of the Jewish settlements from the Gaza Strip there. So Knesset members Tzvi Sukkot, who's from Religious Zionism Party, and Limor Son Har Hamelech, who's from Otzma Yehudit, are starting to lobby in the Knesset for the, quote, return to the Gaza Strip. The lobbying is going to be launched Tuesday night, so tomorrow night. And it's going to be made. This lobbying is going to be made to ministers in the cabinet, to members of Knesset, to security officials, and representatives of the settlement movement as a whole in Israel. According to a report, it was stated, quote, the lobby aims to promote the vision of renewed Jewish settlement in Gaza. After the withdrawal from Gaza 19 years ago and the increased terrorism that followed, the lobby regards Jewish settlement in Gaza, Jewish presence in Gaza, as a necessity to protect Israel's security and ensure its future. Only through the dense presence of Jewish settlements through Gaza will we be able to prevent the continuation of terrorist threats and deter the enemy. The lobby will work to raise awareness of this issue and mobilize support for this vital move. End quote. I thought this was really, really interesting. This is kind of a new approach to potentially solving the problem of Hamas in Gaza. So Israel's military aim has been since the start of the war, and it still is, at least the leaders of Israel are continuing to say this, that the military aim of Israel's military is to wipe out Hamas, to completely annihilate the terror organization of Hamas so that it cannot physically make another October 7th attack on Israel. Now, international pressure, the UN, United States specifically, has been doing everything they can to create a ceasefire in order to enable Hamas to survive. And even I think Biden or somebody from the Biden administration said just recently that a ceasefire agreement is the only way to move forward in Gaza. So several of these Knesset members are actually putting forth this new idea that could very well help promote peace and security in the region and promote an actual peace agreement, maybe not peace agreement, but a release of the hostages from the grips of Hamas down in Gaza, saying that not just working in Israel's not just using a military tactic, but also civil tactics on Hamas to pressure them to release the hostages. In the announcement about this initiative, it was stated, quote, members of the lobby perceive its establishment as an additional necessary step to put pressure on Hamas to release the hostages, with the understanding that if Hamas realizes that, in addition to losing control in Gaza, it is also on its way to losing land in Gaza, it will be pushed into a corner and agree to the release of the hostages. Now, this makes a lot of sense. Not only, so we have the military threat against Hamas, right, of annihilating Hamas's control of the Gaza Strip, but if they also see that, wait a second, if we don't come to some agreement with Israel, release the hostages, all the ones that are alive anyway, and the bodies of those who are not alive, if we don't do that, then we're going to lose land in Gaza, and Israel's going to come back in and take back control of the Gaza Strip that it had previous to 2005. Like, it's a very interesting perspective that seems to make a lot of sense of putting pressure on Hamas to actually make concessions or release the hostages and beg Israel for a ceasefire deal, instead of, like it is right now, the U.S. is putting pressure on Israel to make an agreement, and Hamas is basically controlling the entire agreement process because they're just saying no to all these agreements and putting these crazy stipulations on Israel, which make absolutely no sense, like releasing thousands of Palestinian terrorists from Israeli prisons in exchange for the hostages. MK Tzvi Sukkot, who is one of the initiators of this project, this lobbying idea, says, quote, that only a Jewish presence would bring security. Only when Jewish children are playing in Gaza will the Nukhba terrorists realize that they have lost. This call and settlement in Gaza will also promote the release of the hostages, because we need to act against Hamas on two dimensions, military and civil. On the military level, we have already been working overtime since October 7th. On the civil level, we need to take action and make them lose land. When they realize that they are losing control of Gaza and losing the land of Gaza, they will be ready to release the hostages without imposing conditions that pose a threat to the existence of the state of Israel. Now, this is just, it makes a lot of sense, right? Not only are we putting pressure militarily on Hamas, now we're saying, okay, you're going to lose land if you don't do what we say and you don't release the hostages, which I think, and being here in Israel, witnessing firsthand how the Middle Eastern culture works and how to deal, you can't negotiate with terrorists, but when you come down with a firm hand, attacking their military capabilities, wiping out their terrorist divisions, and also saying, okay, we're going to take this land away from you that we gave for peace back in the day. We're going to take back control of that land. That really sends a very clear message to these terrorists, maybe making them reconsider their objectives in trying to destroy the nation of Israel. I don't know if there is a way to make them reconsider those objections. Seems kind of pointless there. But responding with a firm hand to these terrorists who have these crazy, irrational, putting forth these irrational conditions that pose, a threat to the existence of the state of Israel. And also promoting this in the Knesset now also starts to normalize the idea of the return to Gaza, which is also basically a return to peace, because there was a Jewish presence in Gaza, very peaceful, beautiful communities, lots of agriculture, lots of produce was grown in Gaza, these beautiful greenhouses. And ever since it was taken over by the Palestinians in 2005, when Israel made an agreement for peace, there has been nothing but terrorists and rockets coming from the Gaza Strip, and a horrible life for all the Palestinians that live there. Did you know that one of the best ways to support Israel right now during this war is to buy products from Israeli businesses? Our friends at Blessed by Israel ship the beautiful products of small businesses and families from Israel's heartland to people all around the world. You can buy the beautiful taste, smells, and goodness of the Promised Land, and Blessed by Israel ships them straight to your doorstep. Check out the amazing extra virgin olive oil, savory spices, cosmetics, hand cream, soaps, lotions, chocolate, coffee, and much, much more they sell on blessedbyisrael.com. The best part about this is that at the same time you enjoy the goodness of the land of Israel, you are also blessing the faithful pioneers who are restoring and rebuilding Judea and Samaria. That's right, your purchases are an effective way to contribute to the strengthening of Israel. So head over to blessedbyisrael.com. That's blessedbyisrael.com to buy the wonderful products of Israel's heartland and support the pioneers of Judea and Samaria. Again, that's blessedbyisrael.com. The link is in the description below. So what is going on in Israel's north, close to the border with Lebanon? So ever since Hezbollah started attacking Israel in support of Hamas soon after Hamas's attack on October 7th down in the south, Hezbollah attacked Israel, sending mortars and missiles into northern Israel. There's been a small-scale war going on in Israel's northern border, something that is talked about from time to time on the different media outlets, and you hear reports, oh, so-and-so, there was a missile shot from there. The IDF struck a terrorist base somewhere in southern Lebanon. This back and forth, but really the extent of it hasn't really fully been talked about. And I just saw a report today talking about there's been over 5,000 rockets fired from Hezbollah since October 7th into northern Israel, and with many other different kinds of munitions also being fired into Israel. But this IDF spokesperson said yesterday that intensified cross-border fire from Lebanon's terror group Hezbollah could trigger a serious escalation. He said, quote, Hezbollah's increasing aggression is bringing us to the brink of what could be a wider escalation, one that could have devastating consequences for Lebanon and the entire region. Now, Hezbollah just uploaded this video to their social media, claiming to show some of their 1,500 suicide bombers that are claiming they are ready to breach Israel's border and conquer northern Israel and the Golan Heights immediately. Also, you'll notice in this video that these Hezbollah fighters are using red headbands, which apparently is specifically designated for wartime. So Hezbollah kind of flexing their muscles and threatening Israel here with these 1,500 suicide bombers that are ready if they find a way to cross Israel's border and attack inside the land of Israel. And now just watching these videos of these guys, full-on terrorists with these red headbands and their weapons and reading the Quran, and they're just, this war is such a, it comes for them, it's a spiritual, this is a holy war. According to their holy book, the Quran, they're supposed to go into Israel and they're supposed to kill women and children. They're supposed to rape women. They're supposed to kill the elderly, torture them and horrible, all this stuff stems from them saying this is from what their prophet teaches. This is what the Quran teaches. And for them, this is part of their inner belief, right? That they're going to go in and do all these terrible things to the nation of Israel. So you see what kind of threat Israel is facing, not just with Hamas in the south, but also with Hezbollah here on the northern border. And this is what it's like for Israelis living in the north right now. This other video we could play right here that shows a rocket. This is a rocket that was shot from Hezbollah, lands inside the town of Kiryat Shmona. A vehicle, civilian vehicles just driving down the road, and this rocket comes in, lands right just a few meters from this vehicle. Thank God it did not hit the vehicle and harm those inside. But this is what it's like for Israeli civilians, just regular people living in Israel's north. You're under constant fear of rocket attack, like what Israel South has been dealing with for the last 19 years in Gaza, with the almost constant rocket attacks from Hamas and the PIJ down there. This is also happening on Israel's border right now with Hezbollah. And the IDF is now saying that this is escalating to a point where we're almost going to break out into a more wide-scale war, full-on war, you could say, wide-scale conflict with Hezbollah and Lebanon that can have significant repercussions for the nation of Lebanon. And this is not just for the terrorists, because these terrorists are embedded in, the terrorist organization is embedded and allowed to exist in southern Lebanon. I think not just southern Lebanon anymore, a lot of different parts of Lebanon, but affecting all the other Lebanese citizens that live there as well, putting them in danger, not just the terrorist organization themselves. The IDF spokesperson said in his press briefing that, quote, when we say that we will not let October 7th happen again on any one of our borders, we mean it. And I think that we as Christians should support the nation of Israel in that endeavor to protect the nation of Israel. Israel's government, Israel's military has the responsibility, has the mandate to protect its citizens, to protect the borders of Israel. And when you have a massive threat that's even larger than the threat of Hamas down in Gaza, this is I don't know how many times larger, but Hezbollah is a much larger threat than Hamas is, threatening Israel's border, then Israel has the responsibility to do whatever it takes necessary to return normal living to the citizens of northern Israel, to all the citizens of Israel, and protect them from an invasion or this constant threat of rocket attack and different munitions being fired into Israel. So guys, ask you to continue to pray for the nation of Israel, pray for the strength of Israel's government to do what's necessary to protect her citizens and what's best for the nation of Israel. And I ask you all as well to pray for the military, Israel's soldiers, these valiant soldiers who are fighting in the revived army of King David to protect the nation of Israel, that you would pray for the strength of these soldiers and that victory would be given into their hands against those that are trying to threaten God's people in the land of Israel. Guys, thank you for watching today's show. Don't forget to check out Blessed by Israel and support Israeli small businesses inside of Israel. A great way to support Israel during these tough times. Also, join our email list for your chance to win incredible Israel Guys merch package at the end of June. Don't forget to subscribe and get the conversation going down below. As always, tune out the fake news and tune into what is actually happening here in the land of Israel. We'll be back every day, Monday through Friday, with your direct connection to the land and people of Israel.